Good afternoon, Cougar Nation, and welcome to the first episode of Grant's Grumblings. In today's live stream, we're going to talk about our return to sports seasons and how that impacts West Central athletics. Some of the things that we will discuss in this live stream will be the time frame that IHSA has set out for each individual sport. We will share our sports schedules with you. We will update you on a new return to play procedure should we have a positive COVID-19 case on a sports team. We will update you on each school's stance regarding spectators, and finally we'll talk a little bit about our live streaming options. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to our athletic director, Grant DeWitt, and we'll go from there.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's been a crazy last 48 hours for the sports world here in Illinois. Finally, we get to play some sports. So IHSA had a meeting on Wednesday, the 27th, to basically give us the time frames for all sports in Illinois. We're going to play every single sport that they have to offer in the next 5 months. It is going to be crazy, but I truly believe IHSA did a good job of incorporating all the sports. They will overlap a little bit, but every single athletic program will get a chance to play. Sports schedules, like I said, the last 48 hours have been pretty crazy in getting these all organized, but thankful for all the ADs in the area that we've talked to and been able to get scheduled games with them. The first schedule that's coming out is our junior high our junior high volleyball schedule. Like I said, their first game is next Thursday, February 4th at Griggsville Perry. The first home opener in Bluffs will be that Saturday against Greenfield. Scheduled start time is 10 a.m. And then our first Winchester game will be Friday, February 12th against Triopia. As you can see there, the season does wrap up March 4th with a game against Pittsfield. Next one, our junior high boys schedule. Their first contest will be next Saturday, February 6th against Pittsfield here in Winchester. As you can see, there are 2 games on the same date. Both games will be live streamed, one in Winchester and one in Bluffs. That season does wrap up on March 11th, as you can see there. Moving on to our junior high girls basketball. junior high girls basketball, they do have a month and a half before they get started, but it is nice to get you guys the information now to plan in advance. They will start March 20th, and they will go through April 22nd. First Winchester home game will be March 22nd against North Green, and our girls will have their first Bluffs home game on March 26th against Carrollton St. John's. Now we're moving to our high school schedule, our boys varsity schedule. Okay, just kind of how this went. All of us ADs met the other night and discussed schedules. Number one priority was to get all conference games in. So some of you may be wondering why we played Calhoun the very first game of the year. It was a luck of the draw. We created a 10-team bracket, automatic generated it, and this is who we drew game one. Our high school boys, like I said, start Tuesday, February 9th against Calhoun in Winchester. The first Bluffs home opener will be that Saturday, February 13th at 2 p.m. Please make sure you are checking start times for all Saturday games. They do vary from 1 to 4 p.m. Some games are at 10 a.m. for the junior high level. Our boys do go through a big stretch on the road, just kind of how the conference played out, home and away series this year. But they do end strong. They do end strong at home. Those games will be at Winchester as well. They have a middle part of the season where they are at Bluffs. So mark those dates down. Next is our girls' schedule. Girls, same exact way as the boys did. It kind of auto-generated, and we drew route the first game on Monday, February 8th. That game is on the road. The girls' first home opener will be in Winchester on February 13th at 1 p.m. against Minden Unity. Same thing with our boys. Few games on the road, but our girls end the season on a big homestand. Four out of the last 5 at home. Wrapping up March 11th against Liberty on the road. Moving on to our volleyball schedule. Our volleyball schedule is set to start on March 16th at North Green. Home opener will be March 25th against Greenfield and Winchester, and the first Bluffs home opener will be Thursday, April 1st against Beardstown. That schedule will go March 16th through April 24th. Our last schedule is for football, something we weren't really sure whether or not we would be able to have due to it being a high-risk sport and the contact that goes involved with it. We were lucky enough to get a 6-game season. I believe you guys can see the schedule right now on the live stream. We are going to play our first 5 games as a true conference season. So weeks 1 through 5 will be our same conference season as we would have on a normal year. The boys open up at Pleasant Hill on March 19th, then have a 3-game homestand against the Greene County Schools. On Friday the 16th, Calhoun on the road. And then as you can see on Friday, April 23rd, opponent to be determined crossover game. Kind of what this is going to do at the end of the first 5 games, coaches are all going to meet and they're going to rank each team 1 through 5 on the north and south. Once that's done, we're going to pair them up. The number 1 team from the north will play the number 1 team in the south, kind of bragging rights. And then it's going to be 2 and 2 against each other, 3 and 3 against each other, all the way down to 5 and 5. The football conference met last night. They thought that'd be a good idea to do, give the kids something to work towards, as well as creating the opportunity to go win the gold football this year with everything going on. Like always, JV games are on Mondays the following week. All varsity games start at 7 p.m. All JV games will be at 6:30 p.m. All of them? Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Mrs. Beavers totally jacked everything up and had me muted for the last 5 minutes, so I was talking to nobody. So the season, so they got this.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going back to the season, the overall season. So, sorry for that, guys. Just a quick wrap. High school boys and girls basketball has currently started practice. Their season goes through March 13th. High school volleyball is March 8th through the 24th. Football is March 19th through the 24th as well. High school baseball, softball, and track and field is April 5th through June 19th. There is still a possibility of a state series for those three sports. I did not give you those three sports yet because we are still a ways out. Schedules are subject to change, and that's not just for those three sports. It could be for anything, depending on what happens in our region with COVID-19. Junior high volleyball and basketball are both going right now. Like I said, both teams are slated to have their first contest next week. Both those seasons go to the beginning of March, and then our junior high girls basketball will start in the middle of March and go through the middle of April. So, I believe next is our return to play guidelines with COVID-19. This is something new that we got handed to us today. Administration today has been working hard to try to figure out what this means and how we're going to go about it. Understand, COVID-19 is a serious issue. There have been concerns throughout the entire United States with kids returning to play from COVID-19. So, this has been put in place. Pretty much the entire state of Illinois has this same protocol now with a kid who tests positive for COVID-19. New changes as well. I believe if a kid tests positive for COVID-19, they do have to sit out 10 days now in quarantine, and then the return to play steps begin. With that being said, to return to play, each individual kid has to be signed clear to play by a physician. So, as an athletic director and school nurse, we have decided that we will reach out to parents and students, let you know, hey, your 10 days are almost up. You need to get into a doctor's appointment so you can get cleared. Once you are cleared, we go through a step-by-step process. Day 1 and day 2 is light activity. Walking, light jogging, shooting hoops, catching a football, but there's no resistance training, no hardcore conditioning, no scrimmaging. That way we can see if symptoms do reoccur. They have shown that some athletes take over 3 weeks to recover, and our number one concern is to keep our athletes healthy. So day 3 would be a 30-minute activity period. Start running some more, getting incorporated into some drills, but nothing high resistance training. Day 4 is up to 45 minutes. Day 5 and 6 up to normal activity, and day 7 they are cleared to fully participate in games. Like I said, this is something that's new to us. We are working together to see how this does truly work. We will work together to make sure our kids do get the opportunity to get back on the court as soon as possible. But parents, please understand that your kid will have to be signed clear by a physician before they will begin any of these steps. So just on the radar, we will have that information out on our website available for you, just so you have a heads up what those protocols kind of look like. Now I'm going to turn it, the backside, that's kind of what the release form is going to be. That's what you'd take to the doctor. They would go through that, whether or not your kid still has symptoms or not, and you would have to have that signed. Before your kid would be able to participate, the office staff, the nurse, or myself would have to see this form signed. Then we will start the return to play protocol. So that's all I have in terms of that. Things are changing. Bear with us. But now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Vortman, who has information on our home guidelines.
So probably one of the biggest questions we've had is, are we going to allow spectators? And at this time, both schools have decided that we will not allow the spectators at indoor sporting events. Now, we're aware that this stance may not be popular amongst some of our fans, but current DPH and IHSA guidelines have made it extremely difficult to allow entry of our fans while staying in compliance with the guidelines that we must adhere to. So we have, as you see on the slide, a basketball or indoor sports, basketball, volleyball, home game guidelines. And this has been adopted by the Winchester and Bluff schools. Some of the things to look at this time, no spectators will be allowed in attendance. And one of the big things that we notice is that cheerleading, especially for our boys basketball team, the cheerleaders themselves are considered spectators. So that took 12 people out of our number of 50. So we were really getting pressed as to how we were going to make this work. Another one of the guidelines is that spectators must stay 30 feet away from the playing court. So if you think of both gyms, it's not very possible to get 50 fans into the buildings. Now we know that just like everything that's happened in the last 10 months, everything is subject to change. It's very fluid, and we plan to continually revisit this decision. If guidelines change, the administration and the athletic directors will get together and we'll make a determination as to whether or not our stance regarding spectators will change. So you can see the guidelines there on the slide. Again, you can call both offices if you have any questions on that. Again, the goal here is sports are back. We're glad they're back. And we're excited for the kids. But unfortunately, we cannot allow spectators in at this time. One of the, silver linings to this is that all of our games in both schools will be live streamed. West Central, both Bluffs and Winchester plan to have the games live streamed. Winchester will also provide audio broadcasting during those live stream events. So hopefully that will help out with some of the parents and grandparents that want to see their student athlete participate. Right now, as you see on our WC channel that you're on right now, if you can hit the subscribe button, that would help us out a ton. For every subscription that we get, we can open up more features that you guys, that we can use to enhance what we're giving you guys. Also, in the description under this, you can find a link that will give you every handout that we have flashed on the screen this afternoon. So you don't have to go back and pause everything. You can hit that link. You'll get the sports schedules. As Mr. DeWitt has already pointed out, please be patient with us. Understand that these are subject to change. But again, you can hit that link and get everything that we had and present it to you this afternoon. Mr. DeWitt, anything else?
Like Mr. Bortman said, guys, the guidelines for our home games, they may not be the best right now, but it is the most common situation among all teams in the area. Understand a lot of teams have went to this route just to ensure the safety of their kids and to fit into the compliance of the guidelines that they gave us. So bear with us. Like he said, we will continue to revisit this. If we get the opportunity to get you in the gym to watch, we will do everything in our power, but right now our hands are tied. So I will say this, guys, as we wrap this up, we are excited to get these kids back into their athletic uniforms, playing on our fields and our court. The energy within the school has already increased so much. The kids walk around with a smile now. They have something to look forward to. So all I ask is continue to support them in any way possible. So it's great to be back. Can't wait to get this thing started and look forward to athletics beginning next Thursday with our junior high girls volleyball at Griggsville Perry. And our home openers will be Saturday the 6th. As well as all away games with our AD meetings, actually about every single school said they will be live streaming. Once I get the link to those live streamed events, I will post it on my personal Facebook page as well as the school Facebook pages for both schools. That way everyone has access to the live streaming events at home and away games. So it's great to be back, guys, like I said, and go Cougars.